These same fungus, bacteria, parasites, viruses also can translocate through that hyperpermeable membrane and into the joints. When that hyperpermeability takes place in the leaky gut, that messes up everything. The fibromyalgia, arthritis, asthma, and allergies literally are the same issue. Yeah. I tell patients, I want you to live till you die. And they're like, well, duh. No, you didn't hear what I said. I said, I want you to live.
Welcome to Salus Health Topics with Dr. Troy Giles. In today's episode, we discuss arthritis and fibromyalgia.
Today we want to talk a little bit about arthritis and fibromyalgia. In some of our videos we're talking about subjects in together with one another because they overlap in symptoms or similarities or root cause. So let's fire away.
Yeah. So fibromyalgia and arthritis are very similar in that arthritis is in the joint, fibromyalgia is within the lymphatic, within the muscle, the lymphatic channels. People say that fibromyalgia is literally arthritis within the muscle, but you have an inflammation within the muscle, so that's fibrous, myo means muscle. So there's areas where it becomes burnt, if you will, because of inflammation, becomes fibrous, tender nodules within the muscle area, not in the joint. So it hurts like arthritis does as well.
Okay.
But both of the etiology is similar because it's coming from leaky gut syndrome. Specifically, the toxins open up, or the integrity of the gut opens, allowing toxins through. Those toxins then get into the blood and go out throughout the system. And then if you have a blocked lymphatic channel, because of abnormal digestion, you'll get aggregation of protein, carb, and fat. Sometimes it will block up, similar to a beaver dam. Maybe a dead horse is coming down the stream and it gets stuck in the beaver dam, and then it starts to rot and stink. That would be fibromyalgia. So you get blockages within the lymphatic. Lymph is everywhere. It's not just in your neck, and it's not just by your legs. Lymph is what's the extra outflow of fluid from the blood to bathe the tissues is the lymph.
Okay.
So if you've got toxins that are leaking through your gut, and they get into the blood and ultimately come out of the blood channels and into the lymphatics, bathing the tissues and giving nutrient and removing toxin, that's got to be brought back into the lymphatic channels, back into the blood, ultimately to the liver for detoxification. So that's kind of how it flows. But if it gets stuck, then you get these fibrous nodules that are tender within the lymph. If it makes it then and through the joint capsule and gets into the center of a joint capsule, now you can have pannus formation. Pannus is like sandpaper. It's like sand within the joint. That's more of rheumatoid arthritis.
Okay.
But osteo or degenerative arthritis can be just overall inflammation because of toxin, overwearing, having out of alignment. Your knee could be out of alignment and just not wearing the way that it should. So you wear your knee out. Same thing with your hip. It could be internal rotated, and now you wear your hip out. That's arthritis. But still, overall, there's inflammatory states leaking through the gut, getting stuck into those tissues.
Okay, so in a sense then what we're talking about is giving a different name to the exact same syndromes within different areas of the body.
Yep, so itis is inflammation. Osis is a condition of. Okay? So arthritis, that's the inflammation.
Kind of what we're seeing time and time again is we're using Band-Aid treatments, so that if it's here, you end up with taking the yellow pill. If it's here, you're given the purple pill. But those are just dealing with the symptoms and not going after the causality. And if the causality is the same, how do we go about going after the causality of this?
Right. So even within the lymphatic and into the tissue, you can also get layers of infection. Layers of infection can come from your gut. Remember that they're usually not in the system. They're going to have to leak through your gut in order to get into the blood, into the lymphatics.
Right.
So first off, we need to clear the guts or the microbiome of fungus, bacteria, parasites. These same fungus, bacteria, parasites, viruses also can translocate through that hyperpermeable membrane
Sure.
and into the joints. So taking a good natural antibiotic, natural antifungal, natural antiparasitic in the form of structured silver can remove those offending organisms out of the digestive tract and then ultimately out of those tissues.
Right, so it'd be like taking perfectly crystal clear water and dumping it into your intestinal tract that has a green dye in it, and then that green dye ends up discoloring the water that ends up into different areas of your body.
Perfect. That would be a great analogy. That green water, though, is tinted or tainted with that structured silver that can remove electrons out of those cell walls of those water-soluble life forms. So you're getting rid of the infections out of the joints, out of the tissue, out of the lymphatics, out of the leaves of the tree, and now we're going to get it out of the trunk of the tree, which is the leaky gut, the microbiome.
Because people just naturally, at this time and juncture, they assume that arthritis is just a natural part of the aging process, but more often than not, and probably in every case, arthritis is only a part of the aging process because we're destabilizing the healthy balance of our gut and our microbiome with our lifestyle and dietary habits over time.
Every cell of your body must have nutrient. If you're not getting the good nutrient in your mouth and you're not breaking it down and getting it through the semi-permeable gut, it's not going to be able to get out and give nutrient to all the rest of the cells. So we've got to keep that strength of our gut set so that it's only allowing certain things through and not too many things through.
Right.
When that hyperpermeability takes place in the leaky gut, that messes up everything.
Right.
Creates inflammation everywhere, and the degenerative process is enhanced. So we don't have to. We could live till we're 120. We're actually designed to live that long.
Now, and this is just coming to the belief system, you know, we talked about this off camera, which is people's lifespan is longer than their health span, meaning they're living 100 years, but they suffered the last 15 years of their lives. And that's really what people are scared about when they kind of turn away from the idea of longevity. And we're talking about closing the gap so that your health span is right up to the full length of your lifespan.
Yeah. I tell patients, I want you to live till you die. And they're like, well, duh. No, you didn't hear what I said. I said, I want you to live. I want you to paramotor like me. I want you to do your thing. I want you to water ski. The gentleman I was telling you that's 101 in my neighborhood, he water skied every year until he was 93.
Well, that's not a bad run. Yeah. Not a bad run.
Yeah. If you seriously talk about it, the fibromyalgia, the asthma, the arthritis, the fibromyalgia, arthritis, asthma, and allergies literally are the same issue. It's just in a different space.
Different manifestation.
Taking it back to the trunk of the tree.
Yeah.
Healing the gut so that you can digest and absorb the nutrients that you need for all the cells to be happy, healthy, and prosperous.
Yeah.
I want you to be happy, healthy, and prosperous until you die.
Yeah.
I want you to be on your tractor. In fact, the tractor shut off because you shut it off. And now you're leaning against the tree and your heart stopped because it ran out of beats.
Yeah, very good. All right, well, we'll wrap it up with that. And a lot of the stuff we've covered, you've covered in your book, which you can find on our website and on your clinic's website. And these are just reference points for people to look into. And obviously, any of these subjects we're talking about have a lot deeper that a person could dive in.
You bet.
But we just want to set the template that people can get back to good health and stop believing that they've got a limitation just because they've been with a condition for a period of weeks, months, years, whatever it is.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you.
You bet.
So it kind of seems like a lot of our illnesses are just the same problems showing up in different parts of the body and thus being given a different name, which is great news because it means you can go to the root cause of the problems and solve a whole bunch of ailments that you might be experiencing. Maybe check out our video on leaky gut. That'll probably kind of help flesh out that understanding. Or check out some of our other videos as well because there's lots of good information and we want you to be getting healthier, better, more active, and more knowledgeable for yourself and for your family. We'll see you next time.